Today, I have my favorite Bravo housewife from Dallas, Kary Brittingham. She is absolutely adorable. I love her. She is a real housewife. I love it. She's feisty. She tells it like it is, but always kind, classy, sassy, and a little bit smart-assy. And I can't wait. She's, like I said, my favorite. I can't wait to talk to her about her jewelry line called KAMO. I've been looking at it, and it is so beautiful. I love it because the price points are for everybody. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring in Kary Brittingham.
Hi.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You look spectacular as usual.
Oh, thank you.
You're one of my favorite housewives. I got to tell you, I so relate to you, you know, being Latina myself. And, you know, just you, I was really able to relate to you only because, first of all, I love that you're so honest with a lot of class. And also, you break the stereotypes that we see in Hollywood so many times of what a Latino should look like. Mm-hmm. And I really connected with you, and I really found this je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
You're just spectacular.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you, how did you first get on to the Dallas Housewives?
Well, you know, Carrie Duber has been my friend for many, many years, over 10 years. And she's been telling me about it since the beginning. She wanted me to do it with her, and I was like, oh, no way. You know, my husband was like, no, you're never going to do that. So I kind of, you know, just said, no, that's not for me. And, you know, every year she kept saying, well, what about the housewives? You know, and I was like, no. And it's funny because, you know, everything sometimes in life, you know, comes when it's supposed to come.
Right.
And finally, like last year, I remember being in my kitchen and I was actually cooking, and she calls me, and, you know, I was telling her, you know, my kids are not older. I feel like they don't really need me much anymore. I'm kind of, you know, I have my jewelry line and I'm trying to figure out how to take it to the next level. I said, you know what? Put my name in the bucket. You know, just put my name. This was like in December.
Oh, wow.
Like last year.
Okay.
And literally one day later, I have casting people calling me. And, you know, and I did this Skype interview. And it was the worst Skype interview in my life.
Of course it was, right?
Horrible. I mean, I was doing it with my little iPhone, you
right.
know. And it was like, okay, no, I can hear you, the lighting, the this. And I was like, oh, I have no patience. And I was getting so impatient. Finally, like halfway through the interview, I'm like, you know what? I have to go to carpool. You know, I can come back and finish it later.
Oh my gosh,
seriously.
so you just
I like left.
Caution to the wind.
So stressed out. And then I come back and I still tell the casting person, so you want to keep interviewing me? Because she goes, yes. I was like, oh my gosh. So there we go again, you know, finish the interview.
Because it's a long process, right?
Well, they ask you like everything,
right.
you know, and I'm like, tell me how wonderful your house is. And I'm like, oh, actually, I hate my house. I want to move. You know? So I was kind of like, oh my gosh. So it was like a long interview. And afterwards, I was like, I called my friends, like, I need a drink or 10.
Right.
Because it was a long thing.
Yes.
And I remember joking around. I was like, if they hire me after that, you know, Skype interview is really meant to be.
Yeah, it's a divine intervention, right?
Yes.
So who would you say, like, were you friends with everybody on the cast at first, or were you friends with just one of the girls at first, or were you just kind of like thrown in with not knowing anybody?
Yeah, so then obviously Kary was not, you know, on the show.
Right.
And I knew Deandra, you know, I mean, I didn't know anybody else at all. So I met like LeeAnne one time here and there. And, you know, and I seen Cameron a couple of times too, like at Deandra's house or like at an event. But I was not friendly really with anybody except Deandra maybe a little bit.
Right.
So she's the one that kind of brought me in and introduced me to the girls.
Well, I love it because you hold your own. Like, I would have never known that you weren't friends with some of the girls ahead of time.
No. Yeah.
Wow. So, when you went to Dallas, you came from Guadalajara. Mm-hmm. You went to school. Is that why you left Guadalajara to move to Dallas? I had read, I don't know if this is correct or not. So you left Mexico and came here to study?
Yeah, well, I went from Guadalajara and I moved to Grand Junction, Colorado, because that's where my dad is from.
Okay.
So I went to live with him for, you know, a year, and that was a culture shock going from, you know, Mexico City and Guadalajara, which is like 10 million people
Yeah,
in
huge
Guadalajara.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grand Junction is like a little town. I remember calling my friends going, there's cows outside my window. Yeah, that was the situation. But, it was, it's like, I think every experience in life is like, builds character and makes the person that I am today. So,
well, I relate to you also in a lot of what you are experiencing or what you have talked about on the show. As Latinas, we are, I think, groomed, right? That we are an extension of our husbands.
Yeah.
And everything is about the husband. Even when I go to my mom's house or like my grandmother's house or, family, they're always like, oh, has Mike eaten? Well, make him a plate. And I'm like, well, he's very capable of making his own plate. So I really loved, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm forging my own path. So I think, if I'm correct, you've started this jewelry line. You want to make your own legacy. Of course, always supporting the husband, but also, creating your own legacy, right? How do you feel about like this path that you're on right now?
Yeah, it's always been very important to me, especially having 3 daughters. I have 1 son, but, having 3 daughters. And it's so important to me because, it's like one of our biggest issues, as a married couple, like, I wanted to buy something and, you have to like hide it or, let me put in 3 different credit cards.
Yes.
So let me do this payment here.
Or you leave it in the trunk.
Yeah, I'm like, wait. I mean, it's like my dad like, all over again, you know? It's like, well, what do I have to ask for permission to buy something? So, and it creates a lot of stress and fights with.
And power struggles.
Yes, and power struggles. And then, of course, I have my kids and they're like, want to do things or certain stuff, and I didn't want to have to ask all the time and my ex-husband to pay for it, and I wanted to do something that I could do for my own, and I could, if I want to do something for myself or my kids, I could do it and I don't have to ask anyone, and I think once my kids start getting older, I start realizing that wait, they're getting older and my identity, and I wanted to do something just for me.
Leave your own legacy.
Yes, yeah, and something that I was passionate about, and I'm it's been honestly like the best thing. I love it, and I love that my daughters can see that, hey, not because you're 48 or 45 or however old you are, it's never too late to start something.
No, it's never too late to create your dream and realize your dream.
Yeah.
I know I can relate to you because a lot of times I go shopping and then I've left it in the car, in the trunk of the car, and then you pull it out, and then when you pull it out,
is that
like,
new? No,
yeah,
I've had it forever. What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, you never notice anything. So, when I was watching The Housewives, I got to tell you that LeeAnne struck a chord in me that I haven't felt in many, many years. And I follow you on social media. And I remember the first time that I saw a racist, I hate to say that word, but it is what it is. I was so angry, and I texted you I commented on your Instagram, and I'm like, oh my God, Kary, watch your back. You're going to see. And that was, I feel like almost unnecessary evil as far as a political climate that we're in, right? Mm-hmm. Or like stereotypes, or we got to see that ugly part of that, and you handled it with such class and such grace, and I admire you for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was important to me not to, step down to, and I'm not saying I'm imperfect or I don't say things that I'm like, oh, did I say that? Did I do that? But, in general.
We're human.
Yes, we're human. But I think in general, I wanted to make sure that, I was not going to give somebody like that power.
Right. Well, and you've come out like, I'm sure that, have you felt a lot of support from so many viewers, not just Latinos, but I'm sure like from so many viewers from across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been really amazing. It's like the little things like I had, you don't realize how many people you touch or how many people, that's I think that's been my biggest surprise. Like I'm just being me, and then how many people are like, you inspire me, or you don't. It's like, wow, it's been very humbling.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, you're You're my favorite. You're the only housewife that I've ever reached out to. Not that I would mind having another housewife, but you inspired me to reach out to you, and just, the way you carry yourself and just is amazing.
Oh,
honestly.
thank you.
Do you feel like, and you probably don't even realize how much people you have really touched. Is it weird now that you're in the public eye? Do you feel different? Is there anything that you feel has changed for you?
I mean, no, honestly, not really. I'm still me. I'm myself, like I said, it's very humbling. It's like, I feel like when I somebody reaches out to me like, oh, I want you to help me with this, or can you send happy birthday to my friend? It will mean the world. And like, of course, I want to do everything for everybody, but it's weird, like, to feel like that's going to make somebody's day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, like to feel like you have that little power, is crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Now, what is like the one thing, that you feel like you've had to overcome? Like, we all have these struggles. Like, for me, a lot of things that I've had to overcome. One of my things is I'm very presentational. I always have to, and so now I'm trying to be a little more like, free, like I don't always have to be so presentational. Is there anything that you feel like you've had to overcome?
Not really. I mean, I feel like I'm just always me. Like, one big thing with me is just like, I'm always myself,
Right.
and I know that I'm never going to please everybody. And, and it's been, I guess a big thing for me has been learning like friendships, learning when to let go of some friends that are toxic. That's I think that's one of my hardest things, because I'm a very giving friend, and I'm very, accepting of everyone and many people. And I feel like a lot of women, is just, and that's why it's so important to me, especially having daughters, to support each other,
Yeah.
and I feel like so many women do the opposite. They try to bring it down. There's a lot of jealousy. And, and I think that's why, men are so powerful, because they stick together.
They do.
And I think if we women, learn to have each other's back and stick together like men do, I mean, we would own the world.
Right. We support each other.
Yes.
We lift each other up.
Yeah.
It's true, because I've had girlfriends that I know that aren't the right kind of girlfriends, but for some reason, my husband always tells me, you have such a hard time breaking. Yes. I'm like, I didn't have that problem with men.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I don't have that problem with men. I let go all the time. Not girlfriends.
Yeah, it's like,
and I see red flags, and I'm like, okay, don't you listen to them, Kary? No.
No, because you make excuses. You're like, oh, she's having a bad day. Oh, she had a rough childhood, but we've all had our issues, right? So I think you have a very positive outlook on life, So I want to talk about your jewelry line, because I'm obsessed. I think that you've taken something that has been so classic, like pearls, right? Which you started with pearls.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And you've modernized them. I just love it. You took something that was so classic and you've made it like for everyone to be able to wear.
Yeah,
right?
I do call my jewelry like effortless style. Like, I'm the type of person that I'm like to wear just a pair, like a t-shirt, jeans, and I like to accessorize. And, when I was going or when I was trying to buy presents, like I remember going to the mall or places, and I just couldn't find that in the middle, not super expensive, anything with pearls. And I love pearls. So I started that's when I started thinking, I would love to do a jewelry line, to do something and make it affordable. So if, like all my bracelets, they're about $120. And I mean, that's like, I couldn't find anything for $100 to give for a present that was not like a nice candle.
Right.
Or, something like that. So I started thinking of little things like that, and that's what, and I started really honestly at the beginning doing it for me. And I loved it, and I would wear it, and people literally were buying it off of me. So I was
my goodness.
Yes.
So did you plan to have a jewelry line, or it just kind of evolved into that?
I did, I did start it like, okay, I'm going to see what happens. But it was more like as a hobby.
Right.
At first. And then it started becoming, and everybody was like, you need to do something with your line. You have amazing stuff. And I kept hearing that, and I'm like, okay, this is a sign, So that's when the Housewives came to me, I started, and gosh, I've been
What a great
amazing. I mean,
And
people
what a-
reaching out like, you know, I don't want to say names, but even stylists of celebrities. They want
I
me to
love
send
it.
them my line and things like that. So I'm just kind of like, okay, pinch me every day. I'm like, it's been very overwhelming.
Well, I love it, and what a great platform too, right? The Housewives. I think when you want to brand something and you're on this huge national show, it's a great platform to really brand something that you love to do.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, and it really is like, I have 4 kids, but you know, this is like my 5th child. I mean,
this
my
is
little-
the newborn.
Yeah, yeah, it's like my passion. You know, I love it, and that's all I wear. I mean, like all the jewelry that I wear, you know, for the past few years, it's just been KAMO.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't really wear anything else. So that's why I design a lot of pieces because I want to wear them. I'm like my one-of-a-kind pieces that I wore like on my interviews, my moonstone, and they were like my higher end because I have a higher end line, you know, that is still under 2,000, but they still sell for 1,800, 1,600. That was sold out.
Wow.
I sold that before anything.
Well, you know, I looked on
Crazy.
your website, and you have, this is what I love about it, you have different price points. You have from 2,000 to 120 for the bracelets, for the necklace, you know, and I love that you work in not only pearls, because you have the freshwater pearls, you have the black pearls, but now I saw that you have like rose quartz, and are you working with other kind of stones?
Yes. So my new collection has, you know, I love moonstone, so I work a lot with moonstone.
I love moonstone
yes.
too.
And then
This
I'm
is
working
moonstone.
Yes,
This is
and
like
then
a
I'm
li- yeah.
working with lapis, and I'm working with, you know, chrysoprase to bring some green, I mean, colors, you know, rose, you know, so I'm trying to bring more colors to my collection for, you know, for this next, you know, season. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Do you connect with some of the stones as like on a I have jewelry and I have crystals, and I have crystal quartz and lapis and rose quartz, but I also feel like there's like a spiritual side to that too. Do you connect with that too? Like when you're doing your jewelry, do you feel like, I feel like they have like an energy?
Yeah, definitely. They you know, every stone is natural, comes from the earth. So I mean, a lot of them, you know, have a lot of meaning to them, and like they give you different like calming, or you attract different things if you put them on your body. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, you know, it's mainly when I go buy the stones is when I really like spend so much time picking each stone, and the, you know, I mean, I spend a lot of time doing that. I would say I am mentally exhausted when I go buy my stones.
Well,
and
I'm sure there's so much to pick from.
so much to pick from, and I buy what I'm attracted to and what I love, and that's what I end up buying. And it's funny because I mean, I'm attracted definitely to certain stones and not others. And you know, everything on all my jewelry, there's these 2 little rubies, and this is my signature, and this is my birthstone.
Is
So I'm a
it?
July baby, so everything has 2 little rubies.
What sign are you?
Cancer.
Cancer. That's my son.
Yes.
July what?
14.
Oh, my son too.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
What a small world. July Bastille.
That's,
Yes.
oh my God.
So all my bracelets, you know, they all have the little
Gemstones
you know,
at the
little
ends.
2 rubies.
Oh, so
Two-
all
the-
of your pieces have the little
The
2
little
rubies.
2 rubies. That's my signature. I will say
You have them on right now
earrings,
too.
Yes, and these are my new ones, my lapis ones.
They're beautiful.
So
I love that you could stack it too.
yeah, I mean,
And dress it up and dress it down
dress it
too.
up, dress it down. Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, where can people find your jewelry? If you could, and we know it's KAMO, but I'm sure you have a website.
Yes, it's KAMO by Kary, KAMO by Kary.
Okay.
And my, you know, Instagram also, and I post a lot of things on my Instagram, and I'm going to be posting a lot more. So, and then if they press on the product, you'll tag them directly to my website. So if I post something and, you know, they press on it and it says the price, and they text them to the website.
Oh, awesome.
So-
Now, does KAMO stand for something? I know probably Kary.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I just, you know, like 4 years ago when I started, you know, I used to just love KAMO, and I used to wear a lot of it, and I was like, oh, well,
Oh,
KAMO.
like camo, like
Yes.
camouflage.
Yes. And,
oh my
and,
God.
And I was
okay.
thinking about a million names, you know, and my name is spelled with a K, and I was thinking, oh, it would be cool to spell it with a K, KAMO by Kary, you know. just
I love it, and it sounds good too.
thinking about a million names because I didn't want it to just be my name. I want it to be something else.
KAMO by Kary. It has a good ring to it.
Yeah, I like it.
So Kary, what are some things that inspire you?
I love traveling. You know, I love my time with my kids, you know, my time with my friends. I just, you know, this is a big year for me. 2020, I'm turning 50.
Oh my God, you look fabulous, girl.
Thank you. Even though I still want to pretend I'm 21.
Oh yeah, but
I don't know how time keeps going by and I'm going to be 50. And I mean, you know, I realize how little, like how short life is, and you know how important it is to just live it to the fullest, you know, and just, you know, support and be there for your kids and your close friends and everybody else, you know, just they can think whatever they want and just enjoy life.
Exactly. You know, I feel like as I've gotten older, and this is what I tell my friends, is like, you get the memo.
Yeah.
Right? You get the memo that life is short.
Yes.
And you got to live your life how you want to live it.
Yes.
And who cares what anybody thinks?
Completely.
You have to be loyal to yourself, you know? And I think so many times we are fearful, you know, and I was telling a friend of mine, I got really sick last year. And when I was really sick, I was like, why do I care? Like when you're kind of not feeling well, I said it was a gift. I thought, you know, like this is it.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I thought, what stops me from, you know, doing things that I want to do, you know? And it's so many times it's either fear or what people are going to say. And then you get older and you're like,
who cares?
Oh, who cares? I'm going to live my life in el que le guste bien y el que no también.
Totalmente. Yes.
So, yeah. Well, thank you. You know, I want to bring your offspring if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's bring her on. Olivia, come on down. Oh my God, so you're beautiful, just like your mommy.
Thank you.
So, what's it like seeing your mom on TV?
It's not as weird as I thought it would be because, like, she's exactly how she is, like, all the time, just on TV.
Right.
If she acted, like, completely different, then I'd be a little thrown off, but she's the exact same, so it's really normal, weirdly.
Really? Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
cool. It's good to know that she's the same. And how do you feel about her jewelry line that she's doing?
I really like it, especially the new stuff, because, like, the bigger stones and stuff, I feel like is for maybe older people, or if you have a different style. My style is a lot more like the colorful jewelry or like the smaller beads, like even the one that she's wearing, could like wrap it around. Like, I really like it. She came out with it like when I was in like 8th grade, 7th grade, like whenever I was younger, so I didn't really wear it as much, but now I like really like it.
Well, her bracelets are super colorful, and I love those, like the stackables. I love because you can stack all these pieces.
Yeah.
So you're going to school, right? What are you studying?
Fashion design.
Oh my God! Oh, so it runs in the genes.
Yeah.
So what do you want to? What kind of fashion do you like? Is it jewelry, clothes?
I want to do clothes. Like, my teacher actually asked me this today, and she was asking everyone, like, what do you see yourself doing? And at first I was like, I want to do fashion design. I want to do like a certain kind. But now I'm like, that's still like my goal.
Right.
But I'm so open to like anything. I even like told her about my mom's jewelry, and if something were to happen with that where I could get involved with it, like I would want to do that maybe also. I love everything.
Ooh, I see a future youth line.
Yeah. I love anything like creative, like any kind of design. So I'm just going to like see where my career course takes me, but I'm like open to everything really.
Well, I think that's a great attitude. I mean, you have to stay open because I think a lot of times opportunities come where you least expect it.
Yeah.
And so when you're so like tunnel vision of like one thing, then really, you know, you kind of miss all these other opportunities that can come your way.
That's really true.
Yeah. So you have siblings, right? So you're one out of?
I have 2 sisters and then a brother. So
Yeah, remember when I got pregnant with my third.
Right.
And by the way, all my babies were like not planned. Like after the third one, it's like, well, you know how this happens now. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, like a true Mexican, you know, just like babies. But I'm like, yeah, I mean, she was only 3 months old when I got pregnant with my
Oh,
third.
wow.
Yes.
So your
So
hands
they're
were full.
They're like, what are they called? The twins, they're called something. No, not Siamese twins, but you know, when they're so far, they're so close.
Right.
That you know, they're only like 14 months apart.
Oh my God. So your hands were full.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So I have one, and I wish I would have. I started a little bit later, and I also scheduled. I was like,
C-section.
yeah, because I was a little bit older, and I was like, I'm not pushing. Well,
I wanted to have a natural birth. Like, I didn't even want an epidural.
You did?
Yeah, the first one. I was gonna have natural birth, like whatever, because I thought I was gonna. And then, of course, you know, like.
Did you read every book?
Oh yeah, I went to take those Lamaze classes, all the everything. I was ready.
Oh,
and then
my
of course
God.
my first one was bridge, and it was like, and then they were gonna try to turn her, and the umbilical cord was ruptured in her neck like 3 times. So
Oh,
I had
my
no
God.
choice. So after that C-section, I was like, you know what? They're all gonna be C-section.
Yeah, well, that's what happened to my son. He had the umbilical cord too, so I had to,
Yes.
which I was like grateful. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, well, how do you feel like what your mom is doing as far as like creating her own legacy? Is that something that inspires you too? Like that you see that strength in your mom and that drive?
Yeah, it's really is really inspiring. Not even like because she talked a lot about her financial independence. Like that aspect of it, I think is so important, and she's instilled like to have financial independence for yourself like at such a young age for us. So I've never in my life thought once like I'm gonna get married after college and then live with my husband and be a housewife. Like I've never that's okay, but I have never wanted to do that. My older sister's a little different. She still wants to have a job and do some like be a nurse or some kind of health person, but she wants to get married and like do that part. But I really want to like work and do something like my mom, where I have like my own business or my own
Legacy.
Yeah, you're and I find that great. Not that there's anything wrong with like wanting to get married, but I think within that your mom has, you know, set that road for you guys to see, you know, you could still be a mom, you could still be a wife, you could still hold your own space, you know, which is so important. And like I was saying with your mom earlier, you know, as Latinas, we are so, you know, it's all about the man and catering to the man that, you know, like my mom has a hard time. She even tells me sometimes, I pray that you don't make it, you know, so that you can be home with your family. And I'm like, Mom, don't tell me that. I get so mad, you know. I'm like, so it's pretty cool. And your mom is like, it's great that you guys are close and that you see that and that you're open. I think it's great that you're wanting to do your career, and everything comes at the right time anyway. But
she definitely, I remember when I first got here, she really calmed me down because I've never gotten like nervous to come to college or never had anxiety about it.
Right.
But when I got here, I was like, what am I doing? What if I made the wrong decision? I can't transfer with these like design credits to somewhere else. Like, what do I do? And she was like, you are where you are all the time in your life, like for a reason. You're there because like you're meant to be there. And I believe that you're here for a reason, and it's all gonna work out. Even if you don't end up doing exactly what you think, you're gonna find a way to do something that you should be doing. Like, it'll all work out. And it like, I just keep telling myself that every day whenever I get like stressed out or anything about, I'm making the right decision being here. And it's really good that like she is there for all of us whenever we ever need just like parental advice. 'Cause she's been through like a lot. I don't think people realize that she started like from scratch, like whenever she got to SMU, and she had like jobs and had to work for everything she has, and that like definitely shows, and we've all noticed that, so it makes us want to work hard too.
well, yeah, and I'm sure your mom could say, Kary, like going through that, do you feel like that really helped build where you're at right now? Like all those struggles and all those, you know, like I remember a time where I was out here on my own, and you just kind of, I had nobody. I didn't have a family to fall back on. And I think that the beauty of I think this is that a lot of people lead their lives or victims of their lives, where I feel like you pull yourself up and see maybe falling as, okay, well, I can fall, but I can get back up and I could create something. And sometimes in that fall, something beautiful comes up. So how do you, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Oh my God. 1,000%. I mean, I definitely think that, you know, life just throws a bunch of different things at you. I mean, and even though, like, yeah, I grew up with my mom. My parents got divorced when I was 1, and you know, my mom was an alcoholic, and you know, it was a very tough childhood. But that helped. But that helped me build the person that I am today. That gave me strength. I learned so much from it. You know, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I would have had an easier childhood, or if I didn't have to have the struggles. And you know, and I just think that in life, you know, the tough times builds character.
Character builders.
Yes. So, and I think that every tough time has made me realize and appreciate and it's built who I am today, you know. So everything happens for a reason. And even my kids, you know, like they've had it so easy, you know, and everything else, even though we did go, I got divorced, and, you know, and it's been not easy, and going through all of that. I mean, I wish they would not have to go through those hard times.
Right.
But I think it's, you know, like instead of me like going, oh, that poor, I'm like, no, that's good. There's going to be built character. They can understand that they want to make it better. You know, I want my kids to be better than me. I hope they learn from my mistakes and, you know, and, you know, be better.
Well, and that's what I think. That's what you did, right? You learned better to live a better life than your mother. I've learned to live a better life than my parents. You know, they've been divorced, both of them 3 times, and it was very volatile relationships with them. And I think over the years, it does build character, and you become a better parent. You know, you become stronger, and you're not a victim in life. You know, it's really good. Like, we all have hard times, but you can't lead that, you know, because then I feel like there's no growth. You got to see, you know, the hard times and the good times, and that helps you grow and appreciate too, right? So I'm so glad you came, Olivia. It was really nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Yeah, and is there anything else you want to tell us about your mom that maybe we don't know?
I don't think she's kept anything from anybody. I've heard things that I don't need to hear. And
what do your friends think about your mom being on
I mean, it's obviously they're all like, she's so funny, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm not like a person that gets like weirded out by like she'll say crazy things, and I'm like, well, I could get mad, but I do that too. Like she's not kept anything from anybody.
How did you feel about what she had to go through this year with LeeAnne and that whole way that she was treated?
I mean, at first I like didn't want to get involved with any of it. I didn't want to like have to watch it and keep up. Like she keeps everything like that part like to herself and like with her friends. Like she doesn't like rant about it at home ever. Right. Unless we ask. And I did ask her because she didn't like everything that I would watch was a surprise to me too. Right. Because some things you just don't have to tell your kids. Like, and I was watching with my stepdad whenever she was out of town, like the episode of them in Mexico, whenever she brought up the like suicidal stuff. And I know Stephanie, like, because her and Stephanie have like talked about it, what Stephanie had to go through. Right. And whenever I was watching that, I didn't like freak out, but I was like, did that really just happen? I couldn't believe like that someone would say something like that. And my mom is like not someone that like she would never trigger someone like that. Like
no, your mom's very compassionate.
And LeeAnne knew that, and that's the only part of the drama of the whole show that I noticed, because the other stuff was whatever, but like that's something that I was like really shocked by, and I felt bad for my mom that someone would like scream, like shout that at her. No one deserves to like feel like they're the ones that made someone feel like, I don't know, what did she say? If I could kill myself tonight, I would. Like, you would really say that to someone?
Yeah, but I think Olivia is very sensitive about that too, you know, because
I've had my own issues with that stuff.
With depression and things like that. So that was a very
It makes you, like, anyone who's ever gone through that watched that, like, it makes you feel like, now I can't say it because, like, that made it just, like, minimizes everyone else's pain that's ever gone through that.
Right. I think that LeeAnne saying that was not about your mom. It was about her being a victim and her insecurities. I feel like a lot of people, when somebody like your mom or like Stephanie that are liked, that are have a strength, you have a very unspoken strength about you. You know, the way you carry yourself. There's certain people that can walk into a room and you notice them, and you have that. And I think it wasn't so much that your mom triggered her. It's like she triggered herself because she couldn't deal with like how much everybody like immediately bonded with you, you know? So I think it's very brave of you to be so open, but don't ever let anybody minimize or make you feel like it minimizes, because it wasn't even about any of that. It was more of like certain people use that as a weapon or as a trigger to kind of get what they want, you know, attention or whatever. And so
what my mom has taught us is that if something is bothering you, like, you have to like tell someone, even if it's like a therapist or your sister, your friend, like, you have to get it out.
Right.
Because if you don't, then I don't know what LeeAnne does in her personal life, but my mom's like seen me like lash out at her and say things that I just immediately regret because I've kept it in. And you have to let things out and like in order to like not burst out at people and like
to heal,
to organize and to organize your thoughts. Like sometimes like when you don't say things out loud, you don't know how you feel. And she's definitely taught us all to like she'll come in and I don't want to talk. I'm like, I don't want to talk. And she'll like touch me and be like, what's wrong? And I'll like just like tell her everything.
And it's like
you just need someone to like tell you what's wrong.
And it's like a sense of release.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
And then after that, don't you feel better?
Yeah. And you want to do it to other people and it passes on. Like it's taught me like a lot, like going through bad things and her bad things that she's gone through, that like don't use things as an excuse ever to like feel sorry for yourself. Because after like you admit things that in your life are like wrong or going bad, then like you can process it and then you can learn from it and then you can heal from it.
Well, and then you take people like that and you wish them well. You wish them well in life, and you wish that one day they'll be able to be healed too and find their peace. You know. Well, Olivia, thank you so much. If you don't mind, I'm going to play a little game with your mom.
No problem.
And thank you for coming. You're absolutely gorgeous. I wish you the best of luck.
I wish you the best of luck.
And I hope to be wearing something you designed soon.
Me too.
Thank you.
I'm waiting.
So, Kary, I love this game. If you don't mind playing with me.
Okay.
It's called Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
So I'm going to say never have I ever, and I'm going to say something.
Okay.
And then you say whether you have or you never have.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Never have I ever regifted a gift. You never have? Oh my God. I feel so shitty right now. I have twice.
Oh, no, I don't, never.
Okay. Never have I ever.
Because, normally if I wanted to regift it, it was so bad, I'm embarrassed giving it to somebody else.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh, shame on me. Okay. Never have I ever stalked an ex-boyfriend.
Ooh.
Never. Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
If I left, then why waste my time with stalking them?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, here we go.
I move on very quickly. So
Okay, this might be a little inappropriate, but we're going to go for it. Never have I ever walked into someone having sex and just lingered a little too long. Yeah, never. Never. Okay. Never have I ever been in handcuffs. Okay. We want to expand on that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Never have I ever returned something after I wore it.
Oh.
Oh, good.
I have.
Me too. Well, thank you. That's it.
Oh, well, thank you
my
for
God.
having me. That's
Kary,
fun.
you're such a doll.
Thank you.
I wish you so much success in the
Thank
new season
you.
coming up.
Thank you.
Keep inspiring. Keep showing us fiery Latinas, and I can't wait to see more of KAMO. Everybody, it's KAMO.
KAMO. Yeah.
Okay.
KAMO by Kary.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for listening to Left Unsupervised. Don't forget to stalk us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Left Unsupervised Podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.